Never say money is hard to get. Money will hear you, and that's just what she'll be. Reverend Ike. Hi, in this video I want to specifically talk about money. In the previous video I was speaking about how I learned from the book Your Invisible Power by Genevieve Behrend that if you just simply look at your thought of the thing that you want to manifest as a thing itself, she calls it the steady recognition of thought possession. That will solidify that thought into physical manifestation. The trick is just to be consistent with it. So when you find yourself being worried about money, for example, you need to reverse your mental process and remember that the thought is a thing itself. And it can be tricky, especially when it comes to money. And so I wanted to also speak about in this video about something I learned from Rev Ike. He said that if you looked at money like a separate entity, like this psychic entity, this energy, that if you want it to be attracted into your life, you need to love this entity, you need to love this energy, you need to love the money, you need to have good thoughts about it in order to attract it into your life. But if you're worried about money and you're frustrated that you don't have the cash in your hands right here, right now, you feel discouragement, you feel frustrated, you feel angry, you feel doubtful, you feel maybe even fear, and so if you think about it like that, then you definitely want to change the way you think about money so you can attract it into your life. So it can help when you think of it like a separate entity, like it's your relationship to money. Is it good or is it bad? And if it's bad, then you need to work on it. You need to work on your thoughts and how you feel about money. And a good way to do that, I believe, is going back to Genevieve Behrend's method, just to look at the thought of the money that you want to manifest. Look at that thought as a thing itself and feel that vibrational shift. The longer you do that, you will feel a difference within your vibrational frequency. Your emotional state will change. It happens for me each and every time. The trick is just to be consistent with it. And it can be difficult to do that when you're struggling with money. If you need that money, if you need the cash, if you want that thought to turn into a thing, into cash right away into your hands, it can be frustrating. So the trick is to practice patience and to remember what Rev Ike said, to look at it as a separate entity, and don't be too frustrated, don't be too impatient with this entity. You want it to be attracted into your life. You want it to be around you more, right? So I want to also share in this video the money manifestation method that I learned from Genevieve Behrend in her book, Your Invisible Power. She needed a certain amount of money to travel to England. She's from the United States, and this is a long time ago, like 100 years ago or something. And what she did to attract the money into her life, and it was a lot of money. Well, it was $20,000, but back in those days, it's probably more like $200,000 or something in today's money. But she needed to attract $20,000 so she could have enough money to go out to England so she can meet with her teacher, Thomas Troward. And so what she did is she counted the amount of money that she needed, the $20,000, right before she went to bed. And she also at the same time had that concentration, that mental focus that the thought is a thing itself. And she eventually attracted the money and she was able to go to England, and she wrote it in her book, Your Invisible Power. So if you just, I wanted to also mention that when you're worried about money, if you notice, you tend to visualize the worst case scenario. You see yourself not being able to pay that bill. You see yourself struggling with money. These mental images go through your mind. And how about in those moments that you practice positive mental images, like counting the specific amount of money that you need in your hands, all the while contemplating the fact that the thought is the thing itself. For me, that helped me to attract more money into my life. And one thing you have to take notice is that the money comes in different ways. So like if a friend offers you to buy you lunch, there's a specific way that money is, it's not just in cash, in other words. If somebody buys you lunch, that's going to save you money from having to spend your own money on lunch, right? If somebody offers to buy you Starbucks, okay, fine, you don't have to spend your own money on Starbucks. The universe has different ways to offer money to you in different ways, not just in cash. So just be mindful of those different meaningful coincidences as well when it comes to money. So remember what Rev Ike said. Think of it like a separate psychic energy or entity that you want to attract into your life. So you have to have loving thoughts about that energy, so to that money, to attract it into your life. And to remember that the thought is the thing itself. So visualize yourself counting the money instead of thinking of yourself not being able to afford to pay your bills. And simply just be guarded on how you think and just reverse that mental process. And remember, the thought is the thing itself. And very important, too, is to practice gratitude, no matter how small it may seem. Any little thing. If somebody pays you back, or somebody offers to buy you lunch, or gives you a ride instead of you having to use your own gas in your car, or whatever it may be, no matter how small it be, practice gratitude and see those meaningful coincidences and celebrate them. And the more you do that, the more you will add to your vibrational frequency to attract more of the same.